Yeah, so what's up?
You know what's up. You know what's up. What's everybody talking about?
Young Thug, Kevin Samuels.
Oh, I've never heard Kevin Samuels being called a young thug.
No,
Rest
no,
in peace. Hey, let's start
Rest in
off by
peace.
saying rest in peace, R.I.P.
rest
to
in peace.
brother Kevin Samuels. Love him, hate him. You know, let that brother rest. But you know what? I'll start off by saying we keep forgetting that we all go into the grave. So for us to make an issue out of somebody passing, when they passed, how they passed, we all leave when we leave and how we leave. So there's no, right or wrong in that, or that's good or that's bad or that's karma, all that other stuff. We all gonna leave. So what does that say?
True.
It's nothing special about ascending or transcending.
True.
Nothing unique about that. I'm gonna leave. You gonna leave. So I'll start off by saying that.
I think people just took that thing personal. The ones that I felt like he was talking about, he pushed a button. Because, he had a lot of factual points. The only thing I disagree with Kevin a lot of times was his delivery.
Well, I'm gonna say something about that. I noticed that you get people's attention when you change your tone. If I tell you, could you sit down, please? And you like, all right, you ain't in no rush because I sit down. If I say, sit your ass down, I got your attention. Or I say, sit down now. I said the same thing, right? But my tone was different.
The tone was different.
And in military, they call that F tone, where you can, it's a commanding tone, which you demand an immediate response. And if he had been, all right, sweet and tender and loving, you think his numbers would be what they were?
No.
Something he was doing was working.
Yeah. I think it's about him being aggressive is what got his numbers up.
But no disrespect to women. Women are counterintuitive. And that's something that men got to understand and appreciate. We can't expect women to see things the way we do because they're wired different. So we get frustrated and everything, but that's genetics, that's nature. But women tend to, in my experience, respond to a certain type of dude. They call what they toxic masculinity. But cats that are masculine, women seem to respond to them a lot different to the guys that are passive. And you can sip all day long talking about, yeah, sweetheart, da da da, lovey dovey dovey. You get shifted to the friend zone so quick. Now a mature woman can respect and appreciate that. But then by the time she's mature, a lot of times the cats ain't checking her like that no more. And what Kevin Samuels was doing, yeah, he was. I mean, sometimes I cringe when he would, go really hard on. Because sometimes these sisters are like, I don't know. I need your advice. I need your help. And he'll, sometimes he would go off the top rope and crush him.
Yeah.
But he would always say, I bring the energy you bring. But I sometimes I said, that girl is not being aggressive to you at all.
True.
Now, and then I would hear him go in because he would run out of patience with them. But at the same time, every time he would tell them, answer their question, they were like, yeah, but. He said, what do you mean, yeah, but? I mean, if you know better, why are you coming to me with the question? Now, if you don't agree with the answer, then apparently you got a better answer. So you don't need to be. You need to be answering the question at that point. So I think the overreaction, both pro and con to this thing, says a lot about his legacy because he had an impact. Because you think about a coach in any sport, your coaches generally, not all coaches, but generally are tough on you. Your trainers are tough on you. You don't have no trainer say, oh, you can eat those donuts if you want, but I really wish you wouldn't. He's like, don't you eat that crap, you better put that thing down and get under, you know what, do another set of push-ups. And he'll hurt your feelings, but he's like, I gotta break something in you to rebuild whatever needs to be replaced.
True.
Because you can't go into a situation the same way you came in it expecting to have change. And a lot of people don't want to change, but they want different results. The two things are directly oppose each other. But go ahead, I did enough talk. I'm gonna hear you talking, brother.
No, no, I understand what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense. Like, I felt like he was aggressive to certain females that didn't deserve it. I did think he had some little personal issues.
Huh?
I think he had some personal issues.
He's human.
Yeah, that he was taking it out on them. But he also had good points. So me dealing with, just say, the black race more than any other race, not all. We do have some aggressive black females. I do feel like some of them are not realistic in some of the things they're looking for. Like me, you spoke about a lot of times, a man has to bring money, finances to the table, gifts and everything else.
Right.
A woman just bringing just about coochie, you know, we got it harder. And
well, let me say something to what you just said. I hear your point. A woman has a right to want what she wants, and nobody should be, no outside factor should be a determining factor on what you want. But what's missing is what is required to get what you want. You want to have muscles and stuff, but you don't go to the gym.
True.
You want to learn how to rebuild an engine, but you don't want to learn about gears and belts and pulley systems and come on now. If you want a 6-figure man, 6 foot tall, 6-pack and all that stuff, it's logical to say, well, what does he require for that? What do you need to acquire these things? I just want myself. Well, how's that working out for you? If that's the case, you should have a line of 6-figure men, 6-pack and all that stuff. Adjustments to get that which you to get. You don't think it's important to
what's the difference between a valuable man that makes you a valuable man that makes you
it'll benefit the kids, but it don't benefit the man generally, because the woman's out here trying to support him. You ask a woman, you want to support this man. You're taking all this money to buy him a house and buy him a house, take care of him. They say, hell no.
No.
So how's that impressing us? These are things that women require in a man. What a man requires in a woman, that makes a woman masculine. Men don't want men. We want the opposite of us. Just like we want the opposite of you.
Exactly.
If anything, how that can translate. You can tell this man, listen, brother, you tell her husband or boyfriend, listen, you really good with turning the wrench, you're good at doing the things you do, you're a good barber, you're good whatever. Let's get the administrative part. Let's talk about how we can leverage your skill and monetize it. What your books look like. These things that you have learned, and let him do the work, but you handle the administrative thing, or vice versa. I don't know how it's set up, but if you can bring that asset over into the relationship, other than you just got a nice car and a nice house, but that's okay. Congratulations. I ain't gonna try to move into your house. I mean, some guys will, but I'm not totally comfortable with moving in a woman's house, because I'm more traditional. I'm like, let me get you a house, or let's figure a way where, that would be a conversation to be had. You know what I mean? And if that requires specific conversations. But I'm sorry, go ahead. I get to talk.
No, you answered my question.
And I don't claim to have the answers to all these things. I'm just you know,
It just
trying to figure it out like everybody else is.
it's some of the things, you know, like, not to shoot anybody down, but like, I seen girls come on there that was like, I don't really want to use the word overweight, but that's the only way I know how to really express myself, you know. But hold on.
Boy, I felt like you trying to take me out, bro. I'm like, hold up. I'm sorry if I said.
I know you didn't like that part the last time. Yeah, you know, it's hard. It's hard because the way the world is now, men are looking for certain things in a female, and more men like females that has a nice body. You know, whether it's a social media thing that happened down the line. The woman that's big, she kind of got it harder to find what she's looking for, a six-figure man. The woman that got the kid, she has it hard. Because when you bring your kids to the table, say you got 5 kids, as a man, I know I got to take care of you and 5 kids.
Well, hold on. Let's break some of this thing down because you covered a lot of territory in that. A woman who's plus size, it does not mean she's not attractive.
No.
And it doesn't mean that she is less valuable than a woman that is maybe so-called fit.
No.
But the real benefit in her being fit is longevity, is durability, is health expenses, and all these other things. And let's be honest, some guys like a thicker woman.
Yeah.
It's like a certain woman like a thicker guy, whatever. It's a required taste.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you are a certain if you have an extreme situation, you really tall, you really heavy, or you really something, you that limits you to the larger pool. So you're not going to get the bigger pool because that's not common for most guys to like that, or for most women to like this or that. You know, so, but the other thing you were saying, you said something else, but I just want to speak on that because there's some beautiful women that are curvy.
Yeah.
And we keep thinking that, you know, that's a disqualification. It's a limitation. It puts you it's a disadvantage. Just like me, if I didn't have a lot of money, it would put me in a disadvantage in the mating pool because I don't have enough resources as the average guy. So I'm still in the marketplace, but I'm at a disadvantage. And you want as much leverage as you can to expand the talent pool, so you have more options.
I mean, the disadvantage, it kind of flows. It's like you wake up in the morning and you know you got to brush your teeth. You know, you got to feed your body. So naturally, it's like the woman with the nice body, she gets looked at more than a woman that's supposedly overweight.
Yeah, because we rely on women to be our nutritionists. Our women are our primary source for health, traditionally. So if you got a healthy woman, there's a good chance you and your children will be healthy.
I don't think that makes more sense, but I don't think it's that no more. I think it's just the look. Like, it's the eyes of the beauty. When you first see a person, whether it's a man or a woman they like men that's tall.
Right.
You know, it makes them feel more masculine. So automatically, a man that's 7 feet tall, diesel, when I stand next to this man, he got me.
Well, you got to keep in mind, these are openers. Yeah,
exactly.
And you might find a girl is plus size, and you're like, I ain't feeling that. But you get to know her, and you find out that she's just a good person. And who knows? I mean, I'm not saying that sounds a little fairy tale, but that happens because you wanna attract a person.
Yes.
And then the conversation starts.
True.
But if you don't have the bait to catch that particular type of fish, then you can't blame the fish, because that fish don't eat that type of food.
Exactly.
You put a Snickers bar on the hook, expect to get a certain type of. They don't eat that.
Exactly. You said the key words, the bait.
Yeah, you know, you gotta bait your trap.
You gotta bait your trap.
Trap's not the best word. You gotta hook whatever you're trying to hook.
Exactly. You know.
And this is the thing. That's the beginning part, because how you look sometimes can reflect, if not more than often, reflect how you think. We don't think about that. If I look unhealthy, that means my mindset may be in question, my mental game, my how I think, or it may be a phase I'm going through.
You're right. 'Cause it's crazy how food really messes with your mind and all that.
Absolutely. I know I gotta increase my hydration because it affects my look. And you know, these things affect your brain capacity, how your synapses fired, all these different things, and how much electrolytes are getting into your muscle tissue, which gives you more vitality. You can do more, because nobody wants to have somebody who don't have energy. You know, but then again, men, I noticed, well, go ahead, I'll get ready to go into another subject. But these are things that Kevin had bring to light. It's almost like when you got a cut, you put that alcohol in that cut, that thing stings, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that sting, but you know the overall effect is good.
Yeah.
Initially, because killing something is never pleasant, because whatever's being killed is going to have some type of resistance. That could be your ego being killed. That could be your laxicity in your muscles can be abruptly attacked because you're not flexible and you're stretching. That hurts. You have to make financial decisions that you have to cut back on your spending. That hurts. You may have to get shut down by a woman. Your feelings get hurt, but you don't brush your teeth. Your breath smell, whatever. She'll say it and it hurts. But that's the other thing. Women, not all women have had the advantage of being able to speak their mind, because I'm about to open up a can of worms, but women have had disadvantages in a lot of ways for a long time, because in a certain marketplace you will have a disadvantage, but in another marketplace you have all the advantages. I can't come into the NFL and expect to run with these cats and hit like these cats when they're trained and built for this. So when I say that, women, when they come into the masculine side of life, you know, building things, they're like, well, how come I don't get this? And because men have been doing it for so long, it comes natural to them in a lot of cases. And people tend to look to them first, because traditionally a man is a fireman, a man usually is a soldier. A lot of these things are traditionally masculine things. When a woman comes around saying she wants to do it, the guy's like, well, you only 135 pounds. How are you going to do this particular job when I need you to lift 200 pounds? I can do it. I mean, show me that. And you can't do it, then what are we talking about?
So you're saying they basically need us in the world?
I'm saying we need each other. That's the whole thing. People think it's one thing or the other. We think we don't need women. That's crazy.
No, we need them.
You damn right we do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't need women to be men.
Exactly.
And women, I mean, if they be honest, they don't want us to be feminine. But yet, if you look at the brochure, we want a softer, gentler, cuddlier man. And what's the results of that? He's a friend. He's a guy that's waiting while you in there smashing the dude that you say you don't want. So genetics and nature don't lie. I don't care what a woman says, and I don't care what a man says. Look at the results. So when Kevin says, well, listen, I gotta hold you accountable too. And it's the thing. And what we're dealing with is a culture that caters to women. And as men, a real man, you're like, okay, that's kind. I don't mind. Go ahead, because men don't really care about a lot of that stuff.
No.
But when a man actually has something to say, it's alarming. It's jolting. It's how dare you have an opinion? How dare you have a requirement? Like what? But that's why there's a need for that void. That's why Kevin Samuels blew up, because he facilitated a need or a gap that wasn't being facilitated. Like, oh yeah, men do have an opinion. Yeah, men do have something to say. Now, we'll say it amongst ourselves, but we've never in public said, no, we want a woman that's soft and kind. And a degree, there's nothing wrong with a degree, but you can't replace a man with a degree.
No.
I mean, that's the problem. You get a degree and that say, oh, I don't need no man. Okay, but one thing that whole COVID thing did, women looking around, damn, I'm by myself, and what's that degree gonna do? You gotta go out and fight for food. You can have a PhD all you want, but that man with the muscle, he's like, yo, that's my water. I'm grabbing that water. I'm grabbing that piece of food. You better get out my face. Now you need a man to say, no, you ain't touching that. That's from us. We fulfill a role that are polar opposite. We're juxtaposed to each other. That's because we're opposites. And men got to get over the fact that women will never beat anything other than women. And women got to get over the fact that the vice versa.
I think what's going on is they need to really, without judgment, they need to listen. They need to see what statistics is. Like, if you're overweight, you could always lose weight. I can't just grow tall. So that's out the question. But things that you could eliminate it. I'm overweight. Let's lose some weight. Because if it's showing you that that's what men want more, statistically, I'm pretty sure men want more fit women than big women. Without judgment.
Let me save you some energy. That makes all sense in the world. Mm-hmm. That's logic.
Yes.
But we're talking about women who are emotionally based. If you hurt their feelings, they will stop listening.
True. But
generally, not all women.
They gotta get over that. They're gonna lose that.
No. That's just their nature. We gotta when you're dealing with something, you gotta understand. It's like study your opponent. If you don't know a boxer is right-handed, when you put your guard up and you're ready to defend yourself for a left hook, you're gonna be exposed to that right hand all day long. And what I'm trying to say is women are emotionally based, which means that generally it's based upon how they feel. Their emotion is their way of perceiving things. So if you hurt a woman's feeling, their emotions will take over logic. You know yourself, even as men, when you get upset, you stop thinking. You lose your shit. Mm-hmm. You start talking recklessly and you are behaving crazy because you're emotional. If you're going to deal with a woman traditionally, you got to let her emotions subside. If you got the patience, let that smoke blow off. And when she gets back in her right sense of mind, you can communicate. Because when they're thinking when they really thinking, they sharp as hell when they're thinking. But when they feeling, I don't feel as though that's true. How many times you heard that?
Yeah, but
I don't feel as though that's right.
True.
What's that got to do with the logic or the fact? It's because that's how they feel.
Yeah, but this is
damn what you talking about.
This is how I felt. He came off too aggressive. If you would have just say, I can't just go to my wife and say, yo, you getting fat, you gotta lose weight. I can't do that. You gotta say, babe, you putting a little pounds on. It's a way you gotta voice it. Yeah. So we could get our point across. It's just the way he gave the message, and that's the problem that I'm having with basically that. I think females need to listen to their men in terms of what they want in a relationship, and vice versa.
But if you're talking to your husband or your boyfriend, that's fine. But if you're talking to your therapist, your trainer, your coach, it's a different type of relationship. You don't want your coach to be all timid and soft because he's not going to break things down for you. Yeah. You don't want your psychologist to sugarcoat. Now, a psychologist may use that approach or that tactic, but you want your coach to be, there's a thing called tough love. And if I say, listen, get your fat ass up and give me another lap. Yeah. Because that aggression transfer into passion. True. And when you're passionate, you tend to you accentuate all of your attributes. You're faster, you're stronger when you're mad. Yeah. And you need that to push through. So in one regard, you're correct. There's a way you have to know who you're talking to and what context you're talking to them in. There's a lot of dynamics. As a coach, I don't want no soft coach because it's going to produce a soft athlete, a soft whatever I'm being trained for. Now, if I'm sophisticated enough to take a softer approach, because listen, I know as a manager or as a supervisor, you got the carrot or the stick. Sometimes you need a stick to get somebody to get the thing moving. And this guy, you don't need no stick with that person. That female, you can say, sweetheart, can you help me on this side? And she's like, sure. You tell that to a knuckle, he like, man, whatever. You like, listen, get your ass over there. So you got to know who you're talking to. In general, women are the softer gender traditionally, so you may need a softer approach to communicate with them in their way of communicating. But the opposite is just as true. Now, women, this is where women mess up. They say, okay, problem solved. No, it is not solved. That's one half of the equation. The other half, you got to do the same in reverse. They don't want to hear, they forget, they think that's not important. How you talk to a man is just as important as how we talk to you.
True.
So, yeah, if you want us to be softer and gentler to you, does that mean you can talk to us recklessly?
No.
No, because we're going to respond to that reckless approach the same way you came at us. And Kevin Samuels, based on his response that I picked up, he said, if you come at me like that, I'm going to come right back at you. Because a real man going to be a man under all circumstances. He don't become a woman because there's a woman. Oh, my wife's here. So, hey, baby. Oh, come on, dude. Really? Because women don't respect that over long term. They don't. You can placate and be all sweet and sugary all day long, and they not going to respect you.
No.
I ain't talking about being no caveman and being anything violate nobody, but be a man in the sense that you demand respect, whether you get it or not. You don't accept that.
You don't accept it. Yeah.
So I think Kevin Samuels, that void will be filled because there's a demand for it. And if I could put a capstone on it, if women, like you said, and you said it brilliantly, if women valued what we thought, it would go a long way. It really would. I'm telling you, all you women out there, trust me, sweetheart. If you listen to your man, how he feels, and we're not emotional creatures, because a lot of times it's hard to even get anything out of a man when it comes down to like, I'm good, I'm alright. Yeah, I ain't worried about that. Now, come on, you ain't worried about, but your lip all poked out. You are worried about it. Speak your truth. Now, if somebody give a damn about you, they want to hear what you got to say. Make the adjustments. Men have to make an adjustment to his woman, but a woman's got to make adjustments to a man. And if you don't, you get the results you're getting. You got a whole lot of women that ain't got a man, and you got men that don't have a woman. Now, in my opinion, men tend to do. I think men can survive without a woman up to a point. Because men are very basic. Our needs are, come on, we want sex. That's basically it.
Yeah, sex, food.
I mean, we can feed ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can help us with that, great. But what we can't get from another man, if you're heterosexual, is sex. Yeah. So we need that. Now, a woman says, like, you need sex too. Don't get it twisted. But women said, well, in exchange for this is what I require. You got to be able to take care of me so I can take care of you. That's old as time. But see, when women can make their requirements, that's normal. But listen to what a man's requirement. A man says, listen, I want sex, and after I get done sex, I'm good. And women like, well, that's all you want me for? Well, what else do you have to offer me?
I think it's bigger than sex, because like, being a married man, after a while the sex is, and as you get older too, the sex is like, you want simple things. You want to walk in the house. You want to just, baby, how was your day? You want a simple massage.
Right.
You want some food on the table after working 16 hours. This is what a valuable man wants, Even a street dude after running the block order, he come home, he wants some food. Men want food. That's the way of the man's heart.
Well, think about it. If you're buying the food, it's only fair that if you prepare it and prepare it.
Exactly.
Now, if she's buying the food, then your ass need to be prepped and preparing. If
I'm putting food on the table, you need to cook some damn food.
Yeah, listen, that's equitable. That's that's being equitable.
You paying the bills for the house. You want the shit to be clean when you get home.
And if she's paying the bills, then you clean the house.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the way I see it.
So it's simple things that a man wants.
But that's just it, because if he's going to build you a house, you got to make it a home. Because a man a man says, listen, I'm gonna bust my ass for 10, 12 hours. When I come home, I want to be so happy to be home, so glad to relax and catch my breath. But now, a woman says, "Well, shit, I work too. When am I gonna relax?"
True.
So that's something y'all got to work out. But that's a man is still being traditional in that up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But what's not traditional is the woman being the breadwinner or the provider. That's not traditional. So when you change the paradigm, it throws everything. It throws nature out of whack.
Yeah.
So whenever you compete against nature, you will always lose. Let's dead that right now. You will always lose when you go up against nature. I don't care how you twist it and how many books you write. The results are going to stay same.
Stay the same.
It's been that way for millions of years. You ain't going to change it because you got a new attitude. So at the end of the day, I say to women, in my opinion, do what works. If it's not working and you don't want to hear what we got to say, then y'all fix it amongst yourselves. You got to change something to get better results. Same applies to men. If we're not liking the results, then it ain't up to a woman to fix our stuff. And women tend to say, women point outward. They point with their fingers generally. Men point with their thumbs. A real man, it's my fault. If your house is in array, I'm gonna look at you as a man. Fix that. I'm not going to your woman. You a man, fix your shit. Excuse my language. But a woman can't blame everything on a man. Well, if he didn't do this and if he didn't do that, well, men need to do this too. That has nothing to do with your stuff. If you ask a woman to fix a problem or what's the problem, and you tell them to take the man out of the equation, you're gonna hear crickets. You say, women, how can you fix relationships? Well, men need to do no, stop. Let's start all over again. What do you need to do to fix the relationship? Well, I listen. If men knew how to act, okay. See, that tells you everything. If I'm to blame, then give me all the credit to fix it. Give me all the glory then. If I'm the one that's messing up, when I fix it, give me the credit for the one being the one who fixed it. You can't have all the credit and then you gonna give me all the blame. That don't work.
No.
So when women cast responsibilities onto a man, that's telling you that's a natural process. Yes, it should be on the man. But because he is the one responsible, give him that respect. And if you don't give him that respect, he's going to move on. Because he can't make you respect him. And vice versa is true. But if I got to try to make you see, the thing is, back in the day, old school, men found ways to make a woman respect them. Because there's something intimidating about a person that's got 50 pounds on you and bigger and stronger than you. But we're past that point, and we don't ever want to put our hands on nobody. But you know, your dad didn't always have to put his hands on you, but you knew he could tear you a new one, and just the thought of him coming at you was enough to get you in line. It's the fact that he's designed to be the dominant one because he's built to dominate you. Now, in the best relationships, now see, women think that's a disadvantage. It is to one regard, but you influence that so-called big ass man to do what you need him to do, because women can control a man by a finesse game. By, sweetheart, you know, we could use I know, you know, we did a nice job with the house, but you know, I think we can use a new rug. He's like, all right, I got you, baby, because he's doing it while he's eating a good meal. What are you going to say while he's eating a good meal? You can get anything you want from that man. And that's how a woman can have, that's her strength, because she can be the one who can influence that man to go out and build a kingdom for her, build an empire for her. He ain't doing it for himself. Man, a man can live in a box and be fine. So women have more power than they realize, but it's a feminine power. A masculine power is not going to work. It's not working, ladies. It's not. And just like a man being feminine is not working for us either. No. And I'm not saying anything about a homosexual relationship. That's a different conversation. But they have similar dynamics within their relationship, I would assume. I don't know. But I'm just saying that in a traditional heterosexual relationship, we have traditional roles. Not saying it's always going to be that way, because each relationship has its own nucleus and its own dynamics based on who you are and who she is. But at the end of the day, what are the results? We got more people single. More people. We got gender war that's going off the hook right now.
That's what I wanted to touch on.
Go ahead, brother.
I think my advice to females is, especially ones that's married with kids, listen to your man. It's too many. Let's go back to our community, black people, 'cause that's that's who we more around.
Yeah, that's our culture.
That's our culture. I think there's too many sisters out here that's divorced, was never married.
It's too easy to divorce.
These guys are leaving before the baby's even born. It's not always the man's fault. It's something that's going on between y'all two.
Here you go.
Once you reach a certain age and you have a kid, you don't give this man 2 or 3 kids. You won't put 20 years worth of work in, and now he wants to leave. It's easy for him to leave and move on. You're stuck. You're up in age. You got 3 kids invested. A man is not going to really want that. You're going to be somebody's quote unquote F tool. You'll get some dick, but nobody's going to marry you with 3 kids. It's hard.
But let's break this down. There are stages and phases. Stage 1, it's her advantage at the beginning, because it's easy to divorce. You get child support, you get alimony, you probably get the house, so you get everything. Get rid of the man.
Yeah, okay.
You say, well, you need us men for protection. No, because you just get on that phone, call 911, you're going to get somebody to come and save you.
Yeah.
So you demasculate the man. The man has lost his what he brings to the table.
You should even have some companionship.
But now see what you say comes in after that part. After that part, when you say, okay, well now I'm good now, let me go back out in the marketplace. Oh, now there's a problem, because you're in a new marketplace, but you got the old stuff from the last marketplace. You got kids now. You got baby daddy issues. So this man has the option to say, do I want that, or I want this one girl who don't have all that? He's going to pick the one that don't have all that.
Especially a valuable man that makes great money.
So there's advantages at one phase and disadvantages at one phase. A young woman from 18 to 26 has a lot of advantages. She can just dismiss guys. That's why a woman can just flip a man off and laugh at him and blow him, because women can be really insensitive and can be cold and cruel. You ever go out in the marketplace, go out in the club, they like laugh at you in your face. It ain't no thing. There's no consequences to that. But a young man can be discouraged, but the stronger men will persevere through that and prove that he is more valuable, that you can't laugh at me. And that's where a man has to prove his value and go through the gauntlet and go through the initiation of being a man. When he becomes a man, he looks back at that same woman who is now 30. Now he laughing at her. Like, what you coming to me for? You got a kid now, and you don't look like you did when you was 24. You can't. It ain't the tables have turned.
Having a kid is the scariest thing in the world. You're giving this man life to control your life, like a baby's life. You don't know for sure what's going to happen down the line. I'm trusting to give you my wound, and I'm trusting for you to spend your rest of your life with me. A man could destroy a woman by just leaving him, or she could force him to destroy that relationship, and she's stuck. I think that's why a lot of them walk around miserable a lot of times.
Well, see, the thing is, men don't have a say on whether the baby's born. You can say, I don't want that baby. She's like, I'm going to have a baby. Ain't nothing else you can do about it.
True.
So a man can impregnate a woman, but a woman can determine whether the baby comes to terms or not. And a lot of times a woman says, I'm going to have the baby anyway. True. Which forces that man to be a father who is not suitable, not capable, not mature enough to have a child.
True.
And obviously the woman's not mature enough to have a child either, because she chose that man to allow herself to be impregnated for. And and women sometimes say, well, it's my child. And he's, no, it's not just your child, it's his child too.
Yeah, they always say that's my child.
It's not just your child. The man gave you the seed, and you're the one who gave it, made it comes to terms. You need each other. But women, I don't know. I think at the end of the day,
I think they're forcing their men to leave a lot of times, and it's easier for a man to get back in the market, than a woman to, because she's getting in the market, like you said, with a kid.
Well, man's value increases over time, generally. When a woman typically depreciates.
See?
And that's just nature, and that's not every woman,
Yeah.
and that's not every man. But that's what usually happens because a 22-year-old woman has a lot more value than a 22-year-old man generally.
Yes.
Just as far as just you know, it's just the way it is.
That's the way it is.
But over time, see, a woman is generally wise for a woman to take advantage of that phase in her life to attract the best type of man she could find.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, you know, everybody got to have a turn up phase, and they got to do. But when you do that, you're depreciating what you got. Now you can have fun,
Yeah.
but sometimes that fun it's a higher price for a woman, because if you go through what they call the hoe phase,
Yeah.
it depreciates a woman, and then a woman will say, well, man be a hoe too, but that don't appreciate a man. In fact, a man gets more credit for having more women.
I think all females lie. I think all females lie. All of them.
No, they don't all lie.
No, you know what? I think they all do, because a lot of them been through whole phases. You just don't know. They can lie about that. You can't lie about those 5 kids. But I could lie and say I'm 42 and I only had 3, what they call now, bodies.
So if it's not a bad thing, then why you gotta lie about it?
Because it is a bad thing.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
They're scared. But it's easier to lie about sex than lie about those kids.
Right.
You know?
Right.
If you got 5 kids or 5 baby daddies off the jump, I know 5 different men been here.
And that's irresponsible. And typically they'll blame the guy for giving them the baby.
Exactly.
No.
But if I had 5 bodies with no kids, I could lie and say I'm a virgin.
But
I can do whatever.
But guess what? If a man's a virgin, he gets laughed at by other men, and sometimes through women. A woman who says she's a virgin, she's valued.
Well, it's double jeopardy. A man slept with 100 chicks in 1 week.
It's not double jeopardy.
He's that dude.
Right.
A woman slept with 100 dudes in that same week too. She's a hoe.
Right.
You know.
That's because we're opposites, and that's what the whole confusion. The lines have gotten so blurred that women want to be like men and men want to be like women.
Yeah.
It's jacked up. Men are designed to spread their seed because his legacy is in his seed. So the more seeds he has, generally, I'm talking about overall time. I'm not talking about in this culture.
Yeah.
You got a couple of kids, that's a good thing because you're being fruitful. For a woman to have a couple of kids by different guys,
Oh, that's bad.
that's bad because it's showing that you have not made the correct
Choices.
in your mate.
Yep.
A man, they say, well, what about a man having a lot of babies with a lot of women? That's irresponsible too,
True.
because you want to have some control over your home.
True.
And if a man's out here knocking up a whole bunch of women, men don't have control over sex. We don't control access to sex.
No.
A man, let's keep it a buck. A man will hit generally because we're wired to be sexually ready at all times.
Yes.
And women don't like that, but that's what makes us men. Because women could be on a period, can have different things, their mood swings, and they might not even want to have sex for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. A man got to be ready when she is.
Yes.
He can't be like that. Well, I'm going my cycle and I don't feel like it. The species would be done with in 100 years.
Yes.
So for a man to have a lot of children, if you say you can have some, the average guy like, all right, cool. As irresponsible as that sounds, that's a man's whole motive a lot of times is to have sex. Other than eating, there's nothing more important to a man.
When a man first meets a woman, it's the first appearance. Ooh, pretty face, hair, eyes, fat ass, whatever. She brought him in. Now he bags her. He wants to have sex. He's not thinking about no relationship and kids. They think about that type of stuff usually the first time. You know, they see a bigger picture. We're kind of stupid like that. We're thinking about just sex. Now, once we get in the drawers, because women control sex the first time. Once we get sex, now it's the man to be like, do I want to stay with this girl? I like her vibe. No. I like who she is. Now we control relationship.
Yes.
They only control the first sex.
But let me you're 100% right. I just want to get into the details of that. A man has to negotiate and bargain to the point where he can win her over enough to have some sex, take her out, show her, laugh at her jokes, and spend time with her. He's trying to say, am I worthy enough to have sex with you? She says, well, okay. Now it flips. Now she got to prove to him that he's worthy enough. she's worthy enough for him to keep.
True.
Beyond that point, she's got to convince him that, all right, you don't need all these other women because I can take care of you. I can take care of you, wash your clothes. I can take care of your kids. I can help. You're like, wow, well, shoot, if you can do all that, this could work. Well, if you can do that, then I'll take care of this. You provide sex, I'll provide protection and shelter. Deal. It ain't that, obviously it ain't that dry, couldn't cut. But that's how we negotiate over time.
True.
But women's got to start, it flips. It always flips. Nature is balanced. Men got to win a woman over for sex. A woman's got to win a man over for a relationship.
Yeah.
And you think you're going to change that? Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, I heard some of it. This is only part one. We go on forever with this one.
And yes, and I'll say I don't know anything.
Me either.
I'm as dumb as a box.
Me too.
No, I ain't dumb.
I'm dumb.
No, he's not dumb. But we're just men trying to figure this out, and I'm always willing to listen to a woman's opinion because women, me and Steph both, you know, I hope you don't mind me saying, but we respect women. I think women bring a lot to the table. But you have to bring a lot to the table. You just can't be at the table.
True.
A man, same thing. We got to understand it applies to both genders. But we can't both be doing the same thing.
True.
We can't both be building a house and nobody's going out making the money to buy the supplies to build the house. Or if you're doing both of that, then you start doing the inner structure. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Steph. It's your show.
Nah, it's cool. Nah, it's cool. If any women see this and they are interested in getting on the next podcast, we would gladly appreciate y'all coming in, man. We really
teach us.
We need females. We want to hear y'all voices. Like I said, we're not.
And allow us to teach you.
We're 50-50 with, you know, my boy Kevin. I love Kevin. He got strong points. He got bad points. I don't want to do no bashing. We just need understanding.
Well, it's your show.
You know.
But can I say this?
Huh?
Speak your truth. You're going to get more out of it.
Mm-hmm. Speak your truth, yeah. Whatever you believe.
If you want to bash, whatever you want to speak your truth, because there's some healing in being able to speak your truth. And this beautiful thing about it, correct me if I'm wrong, brother, you don't always have to agree with everybody. Sometimes, and there's beauty in somebody seeing the opposite perspective. Let's get over always having to have everything be exactly the way we think it is.
True.
Your perspective is yours and mine is mine, and there's beauty in the ratio in that.
True.
So please, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, we're cool. We're about to close out.
I got a show too, so that's why I sometimes.
Oh yeah, what's your show? Now's your show there.
Well, our show is we're in between production right now, so I'll talk about that once we get things back together. But
if y'all want to contact the brother towards the end of the whole show, you'll see like Ozman Karriem. He's one of the producers of the show, so you can always like contact him through Instagram, whatever, and such forth. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for having me on your show, brother.
No problem.
Women stay beautiful, men stay masculine. Let's do this.